2K Sports and the PGA Tour are proud to bring you the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. From Pacific Palisades, California, our opening round coverage of the Genesis Invitational is set to begin. I'm Andrew Catalan alongside Rich Beam and Luke Elvey, and we've got Henny Koyak and John McCarthy following the action on the course. And Rich, we're set up for a great week here at Riviera Country Club. The stars will be out. What makes this place so special?
Andrew, this is probably my favorite golf course on tour by a long shot. Does it get any better than this? For me, it doesn't. I think it's just a mixture of the holes. You have an easy par 5 to start off with, and you got a brutish par 4 right after that. It gives and it takes. But at the end of the day, you just cannot wait to play it, no matter how good you play or how poorly you play, because it's so much fun being out there. You kind of sometimes get lost that, I'm not playing that great, but man, I feel like I'm in heaven right now. It's great.
Okay, Henny, give us a read here.
This is testing. A big right to left slope.
A 3-foot putt. The putt goes in, and it's a par to open things up.
That's a rock solid par right there.
Teeing off on the par 4 second. That is gonna work. On the green, that's always mission number 1. Let's check in with Henny.
Setting up this putt 15 feet from the cup.
So close to a birdie. Okay, finishing up here. After that hole, he's still at even. The tee shot at 3. That was really well played. Looks like about 120 yards left. That is nice and tight. And now we check in on Tom Kim from earlier in the round. What a shot, a tap in left for birdie. After that hole, our featured player is making a move. And now here's a look at the par 3 fourth.
This is a spectacular par 3. Ideally, players want to hit a tee shot that moves significantly from right to left and moving with the contour of the green. If they can do that, then they've got an opportunity to hit it really close. If they challenge the pin off the tee shot, well, it could come up short in that bunker, and that is a massive no-no.
Moving along. Here's a look at what happened earlier today at hole number 10. Okay, as we make our way back to live play, let's take a look at the leaderboard. Here's a look at how things stand. It's a one-shot lead.
And now we find ourselves with a par 4 here.
The fairway does run out about 310 yards off the tee, and players not necessarily going to hit driver here. They have to be mindful that the fairway pitches significantly from right to left on their tee shot. From there, they're hitting their second shots downhill again to a green that chases away from them front to back. Again, a simple looking second shot, but a difficult one to get close.
That's a good shot by him. He'll be delighted.
Luke, nothing gets past you. Yes, this kid is a stud.
Let's check in with Tom Kim, shall we? 4 shots behind our leader. Okay, time to return to the action. This one's for birdie. Henny, take us through the break on this putt.
I've had to read this a couple times because there's a subtle last-minute break at the end. It's going to go left.
Trailing by a couple of strokes now. The par 3-6 is unique in the fact that there's a bunker that sits right in the centre of the green here, Rich. These days, a modern architect would probably be shot for designing a hole like this, but we look at it as a masterpiece.
What an incredible design this is. And it really just takes this green and it makes it into a section of 4. The back right, front left, and back left, they all have their unique features to it, and that all is due to the simple fact that that bunker, which is tiny, minuscule, almost not even there, it basically shapes that green into the 4 quadrants. It is just an amazing design.
Oh, I can hear the golf claps around the course. You think about Tom Kim, he burst on the scene at the President's Cup in 2022, and he has just exploded since then.
And he's going to continue to get better each and every week as he gets to know these golf courses and becomes more comfortable with them. He's an extraordinary player.
Needs this one in order not to drop a shot. As we move on to the next hole, we take a quick peek at the leaderboard, and he is in a tie for 4th. Over to number 8, it's a par 4. Henny, what can you tell us about this shot?
He's looking at an elevated green, definitely up the hill.
That rough was not easy. Well played. Okay, that's going to play. Here's a putt to get into a share of the lead. Okay, John, what do you see with this putt?
Looks like this one's going left to right.
This would be a momentum saver here, getting this up and down.
Let's take a moment to update everything on the course with a look at the leaderboard. 4 under par and starting to build some momentum. We're at the 9th. It's a par 4.
Only the big hitters are going to be able to carry that fairway bunker down the left-hand side. Most players are going to try and avoid it and even miss it the fairway out to the right-hand side, which is not a bad miss. From there, the second shot is directly uphill. Deep, deep bunkers on the front right part of this. That is not the place to miss it. Anything that a little bit long will leave you a downhill putt, but that's the safe play.
That's a great position to be in after that approach.
Birdie at the last. This for another.
Henny is greenside.
Setting up this putt 11 feet from the cup.
Let's factor that into the leaderboard and take an updated look. Here's a look at the leaderboard, and he is tied for the lead. And now teeing off on a par 4.
Really hoping they play this one aggressively.
That's a good one to build momentum on. Those are the shots you practice over and over at the range. Another birdie. 6 of them on the day.
Third shot now.
Oh, lovely roll.
Before we go back to live play, let's take a look at the leaderboard. As we take a look at the leaderboard, our leader is up by 1.
The par 5 11th, one of the better scoring holes on the course. Players are thinking 4 when they stand on this tee.
It's just a long straightaway par 5, almost a runway, if you like. Both sides of this fairway flanked by huge eucalyptus trees, which frames this tee shot brilliantly. You find the fairway, second shot, once again, straightforward. You must avoid that bunker front right at all costs. That is deep and nasty. You're not going to enjoy being in there.
He's setting up for his second shot. This putt is about 10 feet from the hole.
This is for birdie.
Oh, what a putt. And with that, he'll move to 7 under. Incredible. Still in the lead now after that hole. When you stand on the 12th tee, Rich, you're thinking to yourself, oh, a couple of strong back-to-back par 4s, and it starts right here.
This is where the golf course gets extremely difficult, Luke. This tee shot moves from left to right, but massive overhanging eucalyptus trees down the right-hand side prevents you from hitting a high draw over them. Once you're in the fairway, though, your second shot is to a green that's really not as big as it should be for such a long hole. And there's a famous tree just short and left of this green, Bogey's tree. Not because of the score, because Humphrey Bogart used to sit there and just watch everybody butcher this hole.
Let's head out and take a look at one of the highlights from on the course.
Look at the touch that this man possesses.
And how did that shot impact the score? Let's have a look at the leaderboard. And with that hole completed, our featured player is on top of the leaderboard, just ahead of Lydia Ko of New Zealand. Rich, the 13th hole, slightly different look off the tee.
It's really cool. This tee shot is framed by large eucalyptus trees, both right and left, requires a draw. Nothing else to do. You have to move this golf ball from right to left off this tee. If you do it correctly, well, that golf ball could chase down there miles down this fairway. You find the fairway down there, you're going to love the second shot. The difficulty gets when the pin is all the way back left in this little peninsula. You miss it a little bit left there, you're going to find the barranca, and you're probably going to find a bogey or worse.
Oh, are we going to see this go?
And as we move on to the next, our featured player leads by 4. The 14th, Rich, I know it's dear to your heart, the par 3. You made an ace there in tournament history, won a car. How do you tell the players to play it?
Luke, this is a very simple hole in my mind, but for the mere mortals who are playing this game, it can be difficult because this green is not deep, but it's certainly wide, and it does tilt from right to left at a pretty good clip. Historically, it's not the easiest par 3 on this golf course, but for me, I think different.
He's currently in first place.
Let's check out the 15th. It's a par 4.
It's a great par 4, and yet there's some players that have seen it a little bit differently lately. I always saw it as a dogleg from left to right, just avoid that fairway bunker down the right-hand side. And this is an interesting green. It's got a high spot on the left, and it's got a low middle section and a high section on the right-hand side, and you never have a flat putt. It is always breaking one direction or another, and it's either straight uphill or straight downhill. This is the most difficult green on the golf course by a long margin. If you see it differently, you can hit it down the right, down 17 fairway, but I fail to see how that's any kind of advantage.
This putt is for par, and it would be a big one. All right, John, which way is this putt going to go?
I think this one is pretty straight, but it might move a little bit to the left.
Okay, that's a bogey, and the lead diminishes. And after that hole, our featured player is still atop the leaderboard. Going with 8-iron here. All right, we can work with that. Let's go back and take a look at some highlights from Justin Thomas.
From long range, nearly gets it to fall.
13 feet to the cup.
What a putt. Started this perfectly.
The run of good play continues as he is now 10 under par. The tee shot at 17.
At all costs, do not hit it in that fairway bunker down the right-hand side. Anywhere to the left, even in the rough left, is just fine. From there, your next shot should be laid up out to the right-hand side. Third shot, straight back up the hill with some kind of wedge. It can be an easy birdie if you get the distance on your third shot spot on. If you get it wrong, however, you could have some issues.
This one looks to be on a pretty good line.
That's a really nice approach shot. He's got this putt for birdie. That one just rolls by. Just an empty feeling when you hit an approach shot like that, Rich, but still come away with a par. That's the type of swing you want to take with you every time out. About 200 yards left to the hole. Okay, that'll play. 8 feet remain. A birdie on 18 to close out the round. Here's a look at the leaderboard at the end of round 1, and he finds himself in first place.
Not bad whatsoever, but still just the opening day. Lots of golf left to play. However, it does give you a little boost of confidence going forward, knowing that right now you're at the top of your form, your game is good, and you're in a good space.
That will do it for our broadcast day. For all of us at 2K Sports, I'm Andrew Catalan. We'll see you next time.